What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the house. We as Yu-Gi-Oh players know if there is marginally decent support for any fan favorite archetype that has a niche following that's been waiting for years for something to happen, there's gonna be buyouts for it. Aliens get a decent link monster and another enabler monster, and their inboards look interesting, not really meta impacting. Better than I thought they would be, honestly, but Alien Kid from Crimson Crisis has no reprint, completely bought out, and you have only a light play copy left here at $13. Code Ancient Ruins at $6.99, nice $694. This is crazy. It's not going to be selling for anywhere near this price. You can see the recent market price is $5, and that's from movement on the buyout. I suggest if you have these cards lying around and you're like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and sell them, maybe try listing it 30 and see what happens if somebody will actually take the bait. And then Alien Warrior Ultimate Rare, lowest first edition at $55 plus $5 shipping, so $60 total. I think with this entire buyout, it just kind of shows when things don't have a lot of printings and people used to pay attention. There are busted cards in this archetype, by the way, like their tracker, no joke. It's insane cards stuck in a bad archetype, and you get enablers there, people start to get excited with what you could do. I don't think it's coming to the forefront of the meta anytime soon, though. And stop saying Snake Rain. I'm tired of people saying Snake Rain. Snake Rain's probably getting reprinted, especially by the set description of Ancient Guardians, Ancient Aliens, but I'm just done with some of these buyouts. Also, speaking of something crazy, the Borreload Savage Sneak Peek Mat, lowest listing is $200. There's no sales on this or anything, but there's just not a lot of people selling this, and that monster has become largely a fan favorite. So if you have that Sneak Peek Mat, you might want to try listing yours up and seeing what happens at a price that you would be happy with. Looking through Burst of Destiny was announced, a lot of people are thinking Destiny Soldiers by this name. It's gotta be Destiny Soldiers. Well, it's just a set name. Calm down. But we do see already crazy prices happening with heroes from before this. There were huge buyouts throughout last week, and then this week people are going, okay, Destiny Soldiers, what do I want? How am I going in? Calm down. It's a name. We'll wait and see. It's not the biggest brain thing if it is Destiny Soldiers, but it's just a set name. Don't be spending your money off of reveals that aren't that good or off set names unless you're making bad life decisions, you know it, and you're using that TCG player link in the description down below, costing you nothing extra to click it to support the channel directly for the cards you'd already be buying. Fantastical Dragon Phantasme, I was really shocked how it wasn't moving at first after its initial results for the secret rares, and now it's starting to really go. We see the lowest unlimiteds now around the $30 mark for the secret rare, and the first editions are closer towards $40. Right under there for a playset. I think this card has really shown itself back into this meta, especially thanks to Dragon Link, and it's a huge lifeline to be able to refresh parts of your hand, get set up to be able to deal with them, dig for cards like Dark Ruler no more. It can't be understated. Phantasme really feels like he's back, but there's tons of budget versions like the new Alter Art from Gold series. You don't have to worry about, you know, having to pay out a lot of dollars right now. I would do that sooner than later if you want access to this card, though. But right now, a lot of the prices are still cheap around him. He's not the next Ash Blossom yet, but I would pay attention to this in the future. Predaplant Verte Anaconda is far up. When it was around $30, I warned this probably would spike with how much hype Dragoon is getting, and Dragoon's still trying to stick near that $80 mark. One motivated seller here, 75. Low feedback. They know they need to lower the amount to try to attract some sales, and then we see it is around $80 still. This has been fluctuating about $10, though. I'd keep my eyes on it, but a lot of people relying on Dragoon's power within this format, and with that, a lot of old buyouts resurging, such as Black Metal Dragon, back to $30 for the super rare. I don't really buy into this one, but I do get that a lot of people just want to make decks around Dragoon or try to do extra things to get Dragoon going for them. I don't buy as much into it, but I get why people would go ahead and spend their money on a card like this, but not at this amount. Verte definitely only has one printing, though, is a huge enabler for Dragoon from the extra deck, calling him out at the end of a board, and that's how he presents himself more so into the metagame usually. Starlight market is going crazy a bit. People are getting stimmy checks and slamming them into things that they we're kind of just window shopping and staring at for a while, I would say. It's all of the most relevant ones. They're starting to turn back up. You see Masquerena 800 lowest, Apollosa 800 lowest again, where they were a little bit cheaper, like 750 available. And then Lightning Storm also, it's getting a lot more play in this metagame. 615 now for the Starlights. If you'd bought in during the low, around 425, 450, it turns out it would have been a pretty good buy. You also have the looks of Ecclesia going up even further. You have Zeus. It's been going up from where it was at. And in the lower ranges, I'm actually shocked. Chamber Dragon Maid, while the secret rares are like 90-ish and just insane prices, that it's not like, well, okay, I'm eating my words. We click on the picture, the price doesn't match. It's $380. It is going burr indeed. I pointed this out as one to kind of buy as well. Crazy stuff happening around a lot of the freaking Starlights that are more relevant, quote unquote, the higher end ones. Utopia also had its buyout earlier within the week and is sticking still around that $550 mark. Dark Magician Girl Secret Rare. I shouted this out as a stonk at around 350. Some people got mad. I was gonna try to get a whole binder full or whatnot. It went to 7. It came back down to 3 to 4, and it's just over time had buyout after buyout and slow creeping. She is now around $15 and quickly goes towards 20. A very nice version of this card. The Speed Duel Super Rare has also over doubled from that $10 into the 20 range. Dark Magician Girl collecting. What else can I say? The poster waifu of Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, going to past formats, there's a ton of buyouts right now. Dandelion is one of the nicest looking ultimate rares, hands down. And even at 60, I was kind of staring like, is this worth it? Yes, it's pretty cool. Plant format could be the next big format after Go. People are always looking for that, and Plant seems to be the consensus usually. Synchro Plant and Dandelion is above 100. Global Bolties are still sitting around that $50, $60 mark though. The Breeze Dragon now jumping up. It's more so what people can get in on cheaper and then go after. We see one Spanish left at 43, but the English copies start at 71 and then 100. Crazy buyouts for really nice looking cards for past formats happening. And it's surprising how much money gets pumped into those without those formats yet like really panning out. Like, when you think about it, there's been a couple of Plant format duels, but you don't see entire sites like how GOAT format has dedicated to it, or a place on Dueling Book dedicated to it. It's more niche communities coming together and playing, and the love of the game and what people have nostalgia for and remember. That still moves money, but it's surprising how much money gets pumped up just waiting on the hope of that, and I do think it'll pan out one day. I do think we'll have a more comprehensive past format website or channel. I might be doing a series on that someday, but it is wild how this happens. Yatagarasu, the original OG banned card. It's crazy what the first editions are at. First editions, let's see the very lowest. It is around $290 for a first edition. They have a fresh buyout. Longest on the ban list, Jail. I do think there's a lot of legacy to this card, Legacy of Darkness, and it being the last card from the original ban list still on the list, people like updating their ban collection, and old Chaos formats are pretty fun to play. I have a graded one of these myself, so kind of happy to see this buyout, while other people, of course, I was getting around to that. I was going to wait for it to be a little cheaper. That's the pain of collecting old cards. Speaking of old cards, Duelist Pack Kaiba Ultimate Rare First Editions have a lot of buyouts. I want to remind you guys here, the first editions are different foiling than the Unlimiteds. The Unlimiteds go to new Ultimate Rare foiling, where you have the borders of the card have the foil on it as well, which can damage a lot easier, of course, and the old school ones do not have that. That's this picture. This is old school, first edition. Pot of Greed had a buyout the other day. I saw people looking for it in Facebook groups, scrambling for it, hoping for a deal on it still. We see it around 200, 250, huge ranges. Chaos Emperor Dragon, speaking of Chaos format, along with Yada, that's why we even checked in on Yada. Unlimited, still around 57 and goes up somewhat quickly, but the first editions disappeared hard, and lowest, $500. That's insane. I don't think it'll be sticking there. I think you'll see willing sellers around 250, 300 very quickly. But man, is this a huge buyout on this card. And Ultimate Rare Crush card, which often gets beat by its gold rare counterpart because The gold rare is actually lower than 1 per case. One of the first ever super short prints that Upper Deck did. We don't get to say Konami for that one. If we're looking around for first editions, the Unlims are starting at 60, but the first edition now at 250 and 300, very few available. So people are just slurping cards like these off the market, deciding to go in with deep going in. I think there's a combination of that happening, like people seeing the market go crazy and going, all right, I think we need to go for this now because the market's crazy. It's how a lot of money is being spent, and it's past formats, it's Starlights, it's high-end stuff, and also the meta game itself, because the meta, it is pretty exciting right now to see rogue decks like, we just had Gabe top and get first with Burning Abyss at the remote duels. We see Plunder Patrol topping 1Ks. We see, you know, Stun actually top 8ing with Aquino from our Discord. It's a crazy metagame out there early on, and it's super fun. So the meta also has a lot of money pumping in and people excited to play after a ban list, and it's just the perfect storm for the market having been this crazy. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy what you've been watching. And let me know in the comment section down below. Have you been going in on anything, or did you finally budge and say, okay, it's time to get something? Or are you just watching the madness, hoping for it to calm down a little?